public was stunned with the news of WikiLeaks' latest Podesta email releases that links Hillary Clinton to the occult ceremony of spirit cooking, a bizarre and frightening ritualistic practice involving everything from demon sex worship to child sacrifice to cannibalism. I was determined to discover information firsthand about this unholy abomination. Going undercover, I procured an invitation to one of these spirit cooking events held at the estate of Chief Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. In her home were displayed degenerate acts of depravity. Fetid intestines were strewn about the rooms. The walls were covered with enigmatic phrases written in some profane admixture of blood and of other unseemly bodily fluids. It was only when the initial shock of these vulgar surroundings wore off did I realize the overwhelming number of celebrities, media personalities, and prominent political figures amongst those gathered. In an effort to understand the nature of spirit cooking, I approached one of the guests, a popular chef and television personality, Guy Fieri, whose latest best-selling recipe book, Heat Up the Oven to 666 Degrees, attests to the notoriety of spirit cooking. According to Fieri, there are many techniques to this kind of cooking, such as spirit roasting, spirit sautéing, and of course, spirit deep fat frying. Fieri evidently has even completed talks with Food Network executives about a spirit cook-off challenge where contestants have 30 seconds to gather as many ingredients as they can from the audience members. Slipping off into an adjacent room, I was nonplussed at the sight of so many young black children mingling amongst the guests. Making inquiries with an anonymous attendee, I was informed that Hillary had used the Clinton Foundation to procure prepubescent Haitian children for use in tonight's spirit cooking ritual. He went on to tell me that, according to medieval occult literature, when it comes to spirit cooking, the demon god Baphomet prefers the extra crispy recipe. While continuing my way through the house, I was stunned to encounter a heap of fetid flesh and bone in some haphazard pile on a Victorian armchair. Its dead eyes seemed to stare straight through me. It was then that I ran into Jeb Bush, who politely introduced me to his father sitting on the Victorian armchair. I told Jeb that I was shocked to see him participate in a satanic ritual. Jeb dismissed my concerns and said he thought the whole thing was great. He'd finally been able to move some merchandise since his website started rebranding his infamous guac bowls as semen milk collection vessels.
Oh my God.
I then made my way to the main dining hall, the room in which the special magic elixir was being brewed. As I entered, I was roughly pushed aside by two rather large gentlemen forcefully evicting Tim Kaine. As he passed me, I could hear him plead, "Don't kick me out." I could have sworn that flatulence was one of the ingredients. The scene in the hall was anarchic. Standing on the table were women donned in red, stirring a large cauldron containing a sickly soup, some admixture of whatever human juices you can squeeze out of yourself. Roger Ailes was chasing Megyn Kelly around the table, trying to get a little blood. In the corner to my right, I saw Glenn Beck in a rather weak disguise, desperately trying to get someone to accept his semen donation. At the back of the table, a dumbfounded Donna Brazil stood staring, pathetically holding Tupperware dishes of chitlins and fried okra. Evidently, she had somehow gotten the notion that this was some sort of potluck. Needing to get away from the madness, I decided to go upstairs. It was then that I ran into noted neocon Bill Crystal. When I asked what he was doing there, he nervously assured me that this was all some misunderstanding. He insisted that poor communication had led him to believe that this was a spirit cucking event. As Crystal scampered away, I heard ominous chanting coming from the first bedroom on the right. I made my way in and noticed 20 or so people standing naked and chanting in some obscure dialect. On the bed was a naked Paul Ryan, and standing next to the bed was a black-cloaked figure holding a tethered goat. Paul Ryan's face visibly dropped when the hooded figure told him that the goat was going to be the top His face dropped even further when he was told that the goat also preferred the missionary position. Not wanting to witness this horror, I made my way to the next populated room. My attention was immediately drawn to the electronic wheelchair in which sat Charles Krauthammer. So mesmerized was Krauthammer by what he was watching, he didn't notice that Bill O'Reilly had been gnawing away on his left thigh for the last 30 minutes. Pulling my eyes away from this gruesome sight, I peered over the shoulders of those standing in front of me to see the attraction, all to my great regret. The ritual cannibalism had just completed, and a leather-clad Ted Cruz laid back and sighed with satisfaction and said, "They don't make a breath mint strong enough to get the taste of man-ass out of your mouth." Horrified at the degeneracy, I could take it no longer, and left behind me this den of iniquity. I leave you finally with the words of the only political operative who was willing to go on record regarding this spirit cooking. When presented with the details I uncovered, Anthony Weiner said, while literally masturbating the horse he was riding, quote, "Sick, disgusting. What the hell is wrong with these people? Hey, did you know this place is a goddamn ripoff? They said Friday was pizza day, but they actually served us pizza. I mean, like Domino's and shit." Unquote.
And so there he is. There's your spoopy outies. His name is Roland. I learned his name. Thank you, Roland. That was great. Okay. That was fun. So there it is. Spirit cooking. Spirit cooking, spirit cooking. Oh, boy. Yeah. I don't even know, like, where... You know what? I think we can start with that. I mean, you want to get into that, right? I mean, we can talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have to talk about it. I mean, I talked about it already. I feel like I've been talking about it for a long time.
Well, you're missing one angle. I mean, you know who was woke AF, I guess is the word, woke as fuck, and tried to warn us about this a long time ago.
Cum, piss, shit, tears, spit, blood, vomit. The 7 base ingredients, 7 centiliters of shit, 5 centiliters of cum, 1 centiliter of vomit, 1 centiliter of blood.
So there you go.
See, you know what triggers me more than fucking Jahan's talking is the fucking Doctor Who theme.
Yeah.
That is the most disappointing shit tier sci-fi that has ever existed. It is like, it is so Brit cuck, just in its whole, everything it's presented. It's just like, oh my god, it's so shit tier.